Next Saturday at 9:25, Keith Lemon is celebrity house snooping in Through the Keyhole. Tonight, though, Bradley Walsh has more TV history for you.
Bradley Walsh, come on down!
A game show is TV entertainment at its very best.
Gotta be a win, please! Yeah!
From the memorable hosts...
That's it, you still can't do it, can you?
...to the legendary prizes. In this series, I'm bringing you all my favourite moments from game show history.
You were looking a bit cagey when you came in there then, weren't you?
Yes. And some of my favourite game show stars.
Annika Rice, can you hear me?
Hello, Bradley.
Down. Stop.
Fire! Oh, get in!
So join me on the next part of my journey through game show history. Sorry, anyone got a glass of water? The great British public. Without them, quite simply, there'd be no game shows.
You won the William Lottery!
Tonight, it's their turn in the spotlight.
When you are choosing.
Over the past 60 years, thousands of contestants have battled it out for our entertainment. But what really attracts people to taking part?
The biggest cash prize in the history of British television.
For some, the rewards can be great.
My husband and I, we won a car,
You!
portable compact disc player, a microwave, and we were absolutely overjoyed.
But not everyone can win big.
Yes!
When it was a penny, I just kind of like shook my head. I was like, oh my God.
What's it like when appearing on a game show doesn't turn out quite like you've planned?
Name something people take with them to the beach.
Turkey.
Our journey starts at the birth of television and the show that, long before reality TV, first put members of the public on our screens.
Good game, good game!
It's amazing to think that Bruce Forsyth was still in short trousers when at 10 p.m. on the 31st of May 1938, the very first television game show was filmed and broadcast live to the nation from right here at Alexandra Palace.
Alexandra Palace is now complete and working. The vision and sound are on. The station goes on the air.
This magnificent 19th century palace is where British television was born. With its vantage point overlooking London, it was the perfect place for the BBC to transmit its very first programmes. Viewers, albeit just in the southeast of England, could now enjoy live moving pictures of the King's coronation, Wimbledon and the FA Cup final. And in 1938, thanks to the world's first ever televised game show, they could also watch members of the public putting themselves to the test.
The battle is on, with Spelling Master Tom Woodroffe at the table on the right.
The show was Spelling Bee, and it was revolutionary.
Forthright.
Forthright.
That's a very good start, Miss Drake. Thank you.
This footage of the Spelling Bee radio show, where the TV version originated from, gives you an idea of just how simple a game it was.
F-A-U-N-S. Fawns.
That was correct, Mr. Curry.
The game show has come a long way since 1938, but believe it or not, this is the actual studio where the Spelling Bee was filmed. Only 1,000 households had televisions back then, so hardly a nationwide hit, but the BBC certainly had put their finger on something that was clearly going to make television history. I wonder if that was the host.
Thank you, sir. That's absolutely right.
Ever since then, TV producers have realised the entertainment value of putting everyday people on our screens.
Hope your legs again, Bill. Bung another couple in there, dear. That's it.
And we love it.
Please.
The birth of game shows on British television was actually the first time real members of the public took part in an unscripted form of television. And from that, all of today's things, right through to Big Brother, have all been born from those early days of getting the public as themselves in front of a camera.
With the Mason's permission, which I've already asked, sir,
Yes.
you can come and have tea with me. And she'll let us have the dining room on our own.
Members of the public, they are just a dream. They are a dream to have on game shows because you never know what to expect.
On you come then. The first one.
When the Generation Game came along in the early 70s, the public were now just as much a key part of the entertainment as Brucey himself.
Teddy Clarendon, you naughty boy.
This is not about celebrities doing jokes or singers singing. This is about the public. This is about real people having some fun.
Regularly pulling in over 15 million viewers, the Generation Game proved that the sheer unpredictability of contestants could produce moments of comedy gold.
The book, The Dissection of the Human Body, another clue, and this black cloak. Who do you think?
Florence Nightingale.
Ah, bless. But she wasn't the first or the last to get it wrong.
Do you want to lie down?
Whose mouth is in gear, but whose brain is in neutral.
Trust me, those studio lights can do funny things to your brain.
Wrong. We asked 100 people to name a place where you wouldn't expect to meet a nun. Janet.
A brothel.
Couldn't buy that kind of stuff.
Nick.
Duck crutch.
What O is the generic word for any living animal or plant, including bacteria and viruses?
Orgasm.
People's brains absolutely go when they're on shows.
There are reasons which I won't go into that I can't accept that particular answer.
And of course, everybody goes, what an idiot.
Again.
Fell in the G-string.
You gotta laugh.
But more than any other game show, one has become legendary for its unexpected answers.
Name something that uses microchips. Name it.
Fish fryer.
Sorry.
Family Fortunes, it's the perfect show for ridiculous answers. There's a litany of them, aren't there?
Name something you do in a lift.
We.
It's the anticipation of what they're going to say, because I don't look at the questions, but I like to play along with them and kind of hopefully get a sense of what they're thinking as a contestant, but it never happens.
In a game you could play in the bath.
Scuba diving.
Name something that's pink, and this woman said, my cardigan. I'm going, good answer, yeah. Let's see if 100 people agreed with you on that one. Something that people open.
Bowels.
I had to look for it, and it got a... so, quite aptly. All right, what do you think, a bird with a long neck?
Naomi Campbell.
That was inspired. Those answers, you know, for me, it was like manna from heaven, because I didn't have to come back with a gag or anything. They were funny, and all I had to do was look down the camera and do... Just the look was worth any gag. I'm going to risk saying it. If it's up there, I'll give you the money myself.
It's all a good laugh for the studio audience and the rest of us watching at home, but what's it really like to be one of those poor contestants on Family Fortunes making a right old pig's ear of things in front of millions? To find out, I'm heading to Hertfordshire to meet the Johnson family, who took part in a classic Family Fortunes episode in 1983. It would also be a memorable experience for host Max Bygraves.
The big prize tonight is £1,000.
The stage was set for factory worker Bob Johnson and his family, who will forever be remembered for a series of strange but hilarious answers.
Turkey.
Hello. Hello, the Johnson family.
It is indeed.
This is Brian. He was head of the team.
Right, Brian, please come in. Hello, loves. You all right? Are you well?
Also making up the team was Brian's wife, Jenny.
What's your name?
Jenny.
Hello, Jenny.
Her sister, Margaret, and Margaret's husband, Michael.
Still standing.
Sadly, Brian's dad, Bob, the fifth member of the team, is no longer with us.
Brian, introduce us to the family, please.
Yes. This is my wife, Jenny.
Jenny, yes.
My father, Bob.
Bob.
My sister-in-law, Margaret.
Sister-in-law, Margaret.
And my brother-in-law, Michael.
Michael, yeah.
How did it come about then?
I was sitting here one day, kids are all at school. Thought, oh, what can I do to get some money? Go on a game show. And I couldn't go on one on my own.
No, sure.
So I thought, oh, get one where there's a family.
Jenny, you like reading. What sort of books do you read?
Mills and Boon.
Crikey, Jenny, look at your barnet.
Margaret, you're a housewife. Do you do anything else?
I'm a temporary office clerk.
Mark, you were very foxy, Margaret, I'll give you that.
Living or dead, name a famous Irishman. Yes.
Disraeli.
Disraeli? Disraeli? Was he Irish?
No.
What on earth? Disraeli.
It's fair to say the Johnsons were never going to win Brain of Britain.
Bob, a famous Irishman.
Des O'Connor.
Des O'Connor.
Des O'Connor now?
Yeah.
But things got worse.
Name a famous Irishman. Go on. Who?
Hemingway?
Hemingway?
Sir, any famous Irishman?
Trevor MacDonald?
Trevor
You did not say Trevor MacDonald.
Where'd they get this lot from? I don't know.
Mind you, the opposition were just as bad.
Huey McPhee.
So the Johnsons got through to the big money round.
The first thing you buy in a supermarket?
Bread.
A food often stuffed.
Chicken.
Michael got off to a great start.
You've got 131. Pretty good. Go back there.
And then, up stepped Bob. Go on, Bob, my son.
Hello, Bob. It's nice to see you sober.
Here it is, guys. Here comes Dad. Here comes Bob.
Name something people take with them to the beach.
Turkey.
The first thing you buy in a supermarket.
Turkey.
A food often stuffed.
Turkey.
This is the bit I love. Watch. Now watch the shot of you lot. Look, you don't know what. Michael's going, what is going on? What was coming into your dad's head? Why was Bob saying, what on earth made him say turkey?
Well, when he went behind the scenes and he had all the earphones and everything on,
Yes.
I mean, that was all perfectly all right. it
Yeah.
was. But when he was being led back, right, he somehow overheard, either from the audience or something that was going on, that chicken had been an answer.
Ah.
And whilst he was walking back round, he's gone, if chicken's going to be an answer, turkey will be an answer. It's got to be an answer. Dad's mind is no longer on what's happening. It's on the fact that he's got to say turkey. And Max comes out with the very first question.
Name something people take with them to the beach.
Turkey.
And once he said it, and he's realised it's a mistake, he now knows it is another question coming up.
The first thing you buy in a supermarket.
Turkey.
And it's wrong again. And the third question comes up.
A food often stuffed.
Turkey.
And he's in.
And he was in.
You could not write a script to come up with that programme.
No, exactly. Extraordinary.
Name something people take with them to the beach. You said... The answer was... The first thing you buy in a supermarket. The answer was... And the survey gave you...
32 years later, you're sitting here watching this. How does it make you feel as a family? Are you glad you did it?
I am.
Yeah.
I keep it quiet.
Not much chance of that now, Margaret, is there, love?
Oh, you didn't beat the clock, but I'll tell you what, you won £152 doubled, and you can go back to the asylum with the people. It's lovely, isn't it?
Every time we see it, we have to laugh as well. It's not something you can watch and be sad. You know, you just have to laugh and laugh with him.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, you might wonder why people like the Johnsons risk potential embarrassment by entering a game show in the first place. Well, after the break, we'll look at one major attraction.
What a points, mate.
But how have the prizes changed over the last 60 years?
We've gone from glass punch bowls to £1 million.
And we'll remember the game show that didn't half rub it in on those Lost Star prizes.
Just have a look at what you would have won. Have a look at it.
Of course you've got to show the guest what they didn't win. You've got to have that moment where you look at their face in abject misery.
Game show contestants have brought us decades of entertainment, but what have game shows ever done for them? The answer is quite a bit.
50
In just the last 20 years, game shows in the UK have given away over £60 million in prize money. Nice work if you can get it, whether it's been hard cash, household goods, or the holiday of a lifetime. Every contestant has had their eyes on the prize.
Oh, the prizes are the most important reason, I think, for people taking part.
This large-screen colour television set.
Why else would you put yourself under that pressure? Or live on the telly? I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Deal or no deal?
Deal.
The prizes in game shows over the years have changed so drastically. We've gone from glass punch bowls to £1 million.
It's the right answer. You just won one.
Game shows now are literally changing people's lives. The stakes are so much higher.
What's my line?
It's a far cry from the early days of TV, when all you got for winning was a piece of paper and a handshake.
Indeed, thank you very much. Well done. I'll give you a certificate, Mr. Ricketts. It was a brief but pleasant meeting.
In the BBC, it was a budgetary issue and a political issue not to give a prize because it was licensed payers' money.
Tonight, 7:15, September 22nd, 1955. A new public service is about to be launched over the rooftops of old London.
Everything changed with the arrival of independent television and game shows like Take Your Pick with its famous yes or no game.
What's your name? Michael.
Michael Ahern.
And Double Your Money with Hughie Green.
Magicians is the correct answer. You won £64.
These shows made British TV history by being the first to offer hard cash and what were then big prizes.
You won something which I think you and your wife and family will enjoy very much indeed, the 21-piece team service.
The audiences on Take Your Pick would go, ooh, which was fantastic to hear them oohing a washing machine.
It's a two-way convertible double-bed sofa. Look at that.
By the early 1980s, the game show was booming, with the chance to win some top-of-the-range household goods. I love that drinks trolley. With so many game shows on air, there were some novel ideas for prizes. Year supply of brandy, anyone?
The prizes were very good for their time. Some were wonderfully inventive.
Is a year's supply of fish. Now, just have a look at this.
People were like, and you've won a set of luggage. They were just,
A jardiniere.
Just to watch these people completely lose the plot, and lose the plot sometimes over the worst prizes.
You've won the cockerel.
Hey, people weren't as well off then as they are now. I mean, who wouldn't want an electric blanket and a flask for your tea? And for goodness sake, what else would you want out of life?
Well, at least that chap's having a look at what he could win rather than what he just lost. In 1981, a game show came along that was arguably the cruelest yet on its contestants.
Well, come have a look at it. You would have won it.
Yeah, cheers, Jim. Well, at least it was a boost for the speedboat trade, eh?
It was Northern.
Whereabouts are you from? Barnes. Well, this will be new to you then, carpet and electric.
It was down market.
There's £20. Take that and have a right nice night out. Have a meal or something with that.
It was low tech.
Showbiz with life.
Nothing smarmy about it.
That's a bullseye.
Bullseye.
Can't beat a bit of bully.
Brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant. Perfect Sunday night viewing. After your Sunday dinner, everybody veges out on the sofa. Here comes Jim Bowen and his pal Bully. Amazing. Brilliant.
Bullseye welcomed 3 teams. Each one had a thrower.
£10 question on food. No problem there.
And a knower.
What is bouillabaisse.
I would say it's a fish dish.
That's right, well done.
all aiming to bag themselves some sensational prizes.
That's number 4, that's a tease, mate, so you're all right. That's yours for the winner. This week we bring
You could even bring your own
celebrities
sarnies. Corned beef, anyone? Smash it.
Jim Bowen, proper bloke, hosting it, having a laugh. He took the mick, but in a really good way. And it was like a night down the pub.
Now that's a bit sad because that's a do-it-yourself brain surgeon kit.
I got the job by accident. It was being in the right place at the right time when a guy called Peter Harris, an outrageous director, spotted me as a stand-up comic.
Are you all right, look? Have you got a potty for this lady, please? Can you pass it?
And said, do you want to do a game show on television? That's like saying, is the Pope a Catholic?
Bullseye started out on Monday nights, sandwiched between two of ITV's highest-rating programmes, Crossroads and something called Coronation Street. I wonder whatever happened to that. But instead of being game on, Jim found himself completely off target.
Onto the brain box. We'll say that again. Onto the brain box and over there.
It was far from a polished performance.
Smash him. We'll get on with the game.
Jim, that's the wrong camera, mate.
How we get the order
And the first series set the industry back 20 years. I was horrendous. I hadn't learnt it. I really should have had my arse kicked because I didn't work hard enough at it.
A £10 question on books, and here it is. It's about. I know it's about somewhere. Yeah, here we go.
In the first 7 weeks, we'd lost 7 million. 7 million people had turned the television off for Bullseye.
Jim really needed to raise his game as Bullseye would face an even tougher challenge when it was moved to a different slot.
Nice to have you with us on this Sunday evening. Have you had a good tea? All right, was it? You keeping warm?
They obviously don't like us because they've given us the God spot. They wanted to bury us. And we went in 5 o'clock on Sundays with about 7 million and got it up to 8, 9, 10 and sustained that for a decade.
You're gambling those 3 prizes. What do you do, audience? Give us a shout. Come on, down here. Now.
The climax of Bullseye introduced an element of jeopardy for contestants never seen before on a UK game show.
We're going to gamble. Absolutely.
We didn't consciously know we were groundbreaking. They gambled the prizes they won for the star prize. And did they want to gamble or not? They had that choice.
What do you think? Look at the girls. Look at your wives. Look at your wives. Look at your wives. You're going to, they say, go for it, so go for it.
So, in many ways, we were pioneers.
And for those who gambled and lost, this was the show that really knew how to kick a man when he was down.
Oh, so near, Willie. Unlucky.
Willie, I've got to say, it's a painful phrase. Have a look at what you could have won.
Let's just rub a bit of salt into that wound, shall we, Jim?
And let's not look at it. Let's bring it out.
Let's bring it out, have a little wander around it, then pop off home with your BFH. Your bus fare home.
I'm sorry. Oh, boys.
Of course you've got to show the guest what they didn't win. You've got to have that moment where you look at their face in abject misery.
Charity money's safe. Oh, I can't speak to you, can I? I really am awfully sorry.
I never was aware of how cruel it was until I actually looked back at some of them.
Just have a look at what you would have won.
No, they just looked at me and said...
But no one went home completely empty-handed. In fact, it was the consolation prize that was the real star of the show.
That is a bendy bully. Total market value about 2 yen.
It was like the blankety blank checkbook and pen. Oh, sorry, pal, you've not won, but you've won the iconic bully.
Take your bullies and your goblets.
We were innovators in ineptitude.
Could he be the bronze bully winner at the end of the series? We'll see. I'll do it again because I ballsed it up again.
Some new depth of incompetence.
We've got Ray Farrell here from Belfast. He's been on the game tonight. How many did you score for? I can't throw him.
However did they keep it going?
What can you not beat at weekends?
And yet the figures were there. So I've suddenly started to feel quite proud about my show.
But if you think missing out on a speedboat or caravan is hard to take, imagine how this lot must have felt. After the break, we'll meet some of the contestants who came home empty-handed. Well, almost.
Yes! I can't believe it.
Better to win 1p than to win £100 sometimes, because at least you've got a story for life.
The British game show has the ability to change people's lives.
You just won £1 million!
So far, it's created 14 millionaires. But not everyone can be a winner.
It's all come down to this one.
You need losers, otherwise what's the point in watching? You need that jeopardy, you need losers, they're just as important as winners.
You can only sort of put your arm around them and try and say, well, you know, think about it, you came in, you had some fun, money was never really there. But it is heartbreaking, that's the hardest part.
You squandered the chance of having £59,000.
If you're on a show where you get the chance to risk everything, then, you know, sometimes you're going to lose. You know that's the part of you that's being tested, and you know what can happen.
You've blown the biggest opportunity.
But it's not always about losing money. Losing pride can be just as hard.
People who made it on Mastermind were considered masterminds. My dad used to feel so sorry for people who didn't manage, for whatever reason, to do their best on the night. And there was a chap called Arthur, I remember.
May I have Arthur Wynne Hughes? He's a Welshman.
He had been warned, as all the contenders were, never choose as your specialist subject something that is actually your job.
And your chosen specialised subject?
Impressionist painting and post-impressionist painting from 1830 to 1914. You know, I'd watched it regularly throughout the years, and I loved it, and I thought, well, I'll give myself a go at it, because I read about 4 books a week. And I thought, I've got all the general knowledge you need, and I teach art, so I'll have painting as my specialist subject, and it'll be a piece of cake. We had a rehearsal in the afternoon, and I must say I did very well in the rehearsal. And then, of course, the evening came, and we went into the Great Hall, and the lights went down, and the chair was there, and that dreadful music started, and I could feel my confidence beginning to drain away.
In what distressing circumstances did Monet paint a portrait of his wife Camille in 1879?
Pass. Once you start saying pass, you get into what Magnus Magnusson would call a pass spiral. You say pass, and you think, damn, I knew that. Pass. And by the time you've thought, I knew that, he's on the next question.
What was the name of the dwarf in Cézanne's painting submitted to the Salon in 1870?
Pass. It just gets worse and worse and worse.
By the time the buzzer put Arthur out of his mastermind misery, he'd passed on an embarrassing 8 occasions.
Pass. It was pretty painful, for want of a better word.
And answered 13 of his questions incorrectly.
Goths. No, it's the other one.
The other Huns.
It's the Vandals, I'm
Vandals.
afraid. And at the end of that round, Arthur Wynne Hughes, your score has gone up to 12 points.
We had a wonderful reception afterwards. Magnus came up to me and he put an arm on my shoulder and said, never mind, Arthur, he says, it's only a bloody game. The after effects of the programme was disastrous. Well, I became known as Disaster Mind. In the grammar school, girls would be there painting, and I'd say to them, how do you make green? And they'd say, pass, and have a little snigger.
Arthur Wynne Hughes, thank you very much.
At the time, I just felt I was letting everybody down, my family, Magnus, the audience. Oh, it was dreadful. Nowadays, I mean, the wound is healed over now.
But unlike Mastermind, not all game shows demand that level of skill or knowledge. And in 2005, a British version of a Dutch show came along which required neither.
Deal or no deal?
A game of chance. Deal or no deal sounded too good to be true.
This opportunity came up. Do you want to win between a penny and £250,000? You don't have to answer any questions, you just have to stand there and be on the show. I thought, this is easy, you know? Pound signs come rattling in your head, and so I just went for it. I was so nervous, but before I even got to the chair, you know, I was already spending money I hadn't got.
Little did Nick know he was going to make game show history, but for all the wrong reasons.
Are you going to bring a formula?
My formula is just to pick boxes at random.
Sounds like a right-winning strategy you've got there, mate.
Alan on number 4.
£500. £750.
You know, the atmosphere when I was doing well was brilliant.
£1.
I had a good situation, so I thought, you know, just keep going.
Deal or no?
No. And then I took box number 17. I just took one red after another.
100,000.
It was like I had a homing beacon on the red boxes.
10,000 it is.
And then I got down to the last 2. Well, I could be the first person in history to do what I do, go home with a penny, so I'm going to play on, ain't I, really? I actually wanted to win the penny because £100 would make no difference to me, whereas a penny made me that first person.
You may swap box 5, which may contain 1p, or £100.
Number 3 was left, and that was my son's age. So I swapped it.
Is the man from Clacton about to become the first deal or no deal 1p player? Yes!
I believe it. When it was a penny, I just kind of like shook my head. I was like, oh my God.
Oh dear.
The journey home weren't so good. All the way back from Bristol on the train. And nothing to show for it.
Nick Bain may have been the founder member of Deal or No Deal's 1p Club, but since then, 47 more unlucky losers have joined him.
Could have won the £100.
In a way, better to win 1p than to win £100 sometimes, because at least you've got a story for life. You'd rather win £250,000, let's be honest. But, you know, it's kind of fun to have won 1 pence.
They sent the penny cheque. Obviously, I wasn't going to bank it because that had just been embarrassing. So I just kept it. And then I lost it.
I think that's what you call having a losing streak. But at least all Nick had to do was sit there and open some boxes. Which is a far cry from what these contestants put themselves through in the 70s. This was the toughest mental and physical test yet in game show history.
Well done. He didn't like the test too much, but he should be smiling.
Krypton Factor was the first time really on television that we got away from bells and buzzers to actually incorporate as many scientific and advanced tests that we could.
Using the blocks provided, your task is to construct a non-intersecting circuit passing through each gate once and only once.
To millions of us watching at home, the intelligence round seemed to take just 2 minutes. In truth, it was much longer.
Some people could maybe do it in 3 or 4 minutes, but there were others who were still struggling at 25 minutes, and we had to go on until 3 people had finished, so we knew the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Michelle here seems to have the measure of it. She's using that water very skillfully indeed.
The longest we had was a 59-minute game before the edit with a water puzzle, and they were turning taps on and dropping water down to float things.
John has the red ball now nicely into its base.
By the end of it, the entire audience wanted to go to the loo.
This is John. Does he make it? He does indeed.
But controlling contestants' waterworks seemed like a walk in the park compared to the physical ability test, which made its mark as one of the most grueling challenges in game show history.
The iconic round of Krypton Factor was the assault course. If you went out to anyone in the street and said Krypton Factor, they'd say assault course.
Take your mark!
This demanding 400-metre course was built at an army base in Bury.
I always wanted to go on the assault course on the Krypton Factor.
Yeah, I wouldn't bother with the rest of it.
Nah.
Nah,
All
it's-
that putting shapes in the right spaces and all
That just fried my brain, all that.
Yeah.
Get me on the assault course!
Across the Burma Road Bridge, it's a long way down when you're looking down, about 30 feet.
Obviously, it had dangers because it really was an army assault course. We had a doctor on site, and he would rush in if anyone injured themselves, and there were injuries.
And Mark falls there. That's quite nasty. That's quite a drop. I can see blood down the far side of his face.
she's struggling, and she's down into the water, and a nasty crack as he went into the pipes there. Steve Athens banged his head on the edge of those concrete pipes.
When he finished, you couldn't see his face. It was just red with blood pouring down. You couldn't see anything else.
He had to be taken off to hospital and ended up with a dozen stitches in his head.
But what was it really like taking on the Krypton Factor's most famous round?
And across the line he comes.
For nurse Judith Stafford, it was an experience she'd never forget.
I was really excited. I just wanted to do the assault course more than anything. I was a runner anyway at the time, and I just love physical challenges, so that was the best part.
Major Tony Carr starts round 4, Judith Stafford from Lincoln nearest to us, and Liz Vasey makes a mistake.
Off I went. I was in the lead.
But Judith Stafford here, no mistake on the rope swing.
You had to climb up some metal railings.
The nasty jump here, you've got to actually jump out and down onto a second platform, which she does quite nicely.
I must have landed wrong. My leg just felt weird.
She's wincing a bit. I don't know whether she's actually twisted an ankle, strained an ankle, but she looks in trouble.
I did hear it crack, but I thought it was the board and the matting that cracked. Just had to keep going. I just had to finish.
And yeah, she's definitely in agony at the moment, limping. It's that right ankle without a doubt.
And I had to crawl to the net, which was, that was just so hard. And it just seemed forever.
She gets to her feet, but it's so painful, and this is a very brave attempt as she comes across the line for 4 points.
And I eventually made it. But once I stopped, the pain was agony.
Judith had actually completed half the course with a broken leg, but in true superhero style, insisted the game show must go on.
I suppose that's one way of being remembered, but it's not what I would have chosen.
Well, we thought you were very courageous to finish the course, and indeed very courageous to still be here with us tonight.
Well, if you think that's dedication. Next, the game show addicts who turn up time and time again.
I'm known to my mates as Andy Kelly, man on the telly, because of my constant appearances on TV game shows and quiz shows.
As we give some pub quiz regulars a real run for their money.
I wonder if you've got room for one more team.
Over 6 decades, the appeal of going on game shows has never waned. And in the last few years, the number of potential contestants applying to take part has risen by 75%.
F-O-R-T-H-R-I-G-H-T.
So why, since spelling bee at the birth of television, have contestants continued to put themselves through it? Is it the prizes? The fame?
Yes, I'm afraid I don't do Mercy.
Or are they all just game for a laugh?
I like your mother! Get down!
To find out, I'm meeting 3 of Britain's biggest serial contestants, all addicted to taking part in quiz and game shows, but each for a very different reason. This is Andy Kelly. He's a game show nutter.
I'm known to my mates as Andy Kelly, man on the telly, because of my constant appearances on TV game shows and quiz shows.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Andy's made a whopping 37 TV appearances and counting.
The thing I love about quiz shows the most is winning money, if I'm being brutally honest with you.
Oh, wonderful.
Meet Barbara Galloway. She knows her stuff, and she's been appearing on game shows since she was 17.
Generation Game, Talk About, Wheel of Fortune, Family Fortune, Supermarket Sweep, Cannon Balls Casino, Pointless, Weakest Link. I mean, there's been so many. I just can't remember them all.
Over the years, Babs has done some good business.
The most I've ever won on a game show was a car, portable compact disc player, a microwave, and we won some Edinburgh crystal glasses. And we were absolutely overjoyed.
She said all that were bloody marvellous.
And then 6 weeks later, the car was stolen and found burnt out in a quarry.
And this is David St. John. He likes a joke and he loves a good quiz.
Maybe it's a bit of showing off, which everybody likes to show off. I'm an entertainer, so we get paid for showing off.
Hello, David.
Well, hello, I say, ding dong. I had a call actually from the Guinness Book of Records. It would appear that I'm Britain's most prolific TV quiz show contestant.
But does a lifetime of appearing on game shows give you a superior general knowledge? Well, tonight, these serial contestants are with me in Manchester, and we're going to put their game-playing credentials to the test.
Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, on this lovely evening we have a little quiz for you.
Apologies to butt in.
Hello, Bradley.
Hello. Quizmaster James seems pleased to see us, but there are a few surprised faces too.
I wonder if you've got room for one more team. We've got a team called the 100 Club. They've been on 100 quiz or game shows.
Wow! Welcome, one and all.
Lovely to see you all, folks.
Now, this quiz is for teams of 4, so looks like I'm the 100 Club's weakest link.
Right, here we go. Eyes down, looking.
Right, boys and girls, before we start, please may I ask you, no cheating. Turn your phones off and put them on the table.
Phones off, James.
Good, good, good.
The pub quiz is on.
Come on, team.
Question number 1. Which historic event happened the night before the very first Doctor Who episode? Which decade was Desert Island Discs first broadcast?
Who was the first presenter?
Just a few questions in, and this lot's competitive streak is already showing.
Who said it or who wrote it?
Who said it?
Who said it, right?
Beware the pub quiz eavesdropper.
I've got to be honest, we've had
My gut feeling was
9 questions. I've actually known 1.
Do you agree? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many minutes are there in a day?
Hey, I know this one straight off the top of my head.
Let me ask you a question. How many seconds in the year? 12. January the 2nd, February the 2nd, March the 6th. Oh, come on.
With the quiz over, and don't worry, we'll give you the answers shortly, I've got some questions of my own, like, just why do these guys do it?
You are a professional, not a professional quizzer in the sense that you are like a chaser, but you are a serial quizzer for money.
To date, I'm the only person in the UK who's done the 3 big chairs. I've done Mastermind, and I've done Millionaire, and I've done Deal or No Deal.
Wow.
And I'm the only one who's done all
That's
3.
the Holy Trinity, isn't it?
Is it really, of quiz shows?
It's the ultimate goal.
Is it?
Turns out that being a game show fanatic can require real commitment.
On Deal or No Deal, you signed a contract to say that you will be available for 28 days.
I guess you must be losing money from work. So
Well,
how do you explain this to your family at home? Listen, love, here's what's going to happen. I'm going away for 28 days. There's a chance I may win. There's a chance I might lose.
You've got to have a very understanding partner. But they came back with 20 grand, so she was very happy with that.
Deal or no deal?
Deal.
Can I ask you, in total, what would you say your winnings would be? Ballpark figure?
Ballpark figure is about 85 grand.
No.
Give him a big hand. Andy Keller goes back to Rochdale. £20,000 better off.
But all this serial quizzing can make you a marked man.
In the game show world, you can be known as a face or a usual suspect, and you'll be one, and I'll be one.
I've been
almost
blocked.
certainly.
Yeah, I've been blocked.
And I think it's a case of you.
Just 1 second, I'm sorry, you've been blocked?
The researcher rings up, so how many shows have you been on, Dave? And I said, 30. And it's, that's a bit too much, isn't it?
Doing quiz shows and stuff like that,
Yeah.
has that helped your notoriety within your industry?
It's boosts my profile, people know me and I get recognised in the street. I love it, I'm a quiz nut.
I just like to sort of meet the stars, see how the shows are done. Whereas the quizzes, they like to beat the questions, I would imagine.
So you're basically treating it as being invited on a couple of days away, a couple of days out.
Totally, yeah. Because the very first one I did was with Huey Greens. When he had his questions, right like this, I could see the answers through his piece of paper.
Oh,
I could.
Wow.
Yeah. So I went up to £60. I bought myself a lovely gate bracelet, which I've still got, and that's 45 years old.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
So is that the very bracelet?
Yeah, that's the bracelet.
This is the maddest conversation of all time.
Well, there was no peeking at answers this time.
Have you all got somebody else's sheet? Yeah?
But will these game show pros be coming out on top tonight?
OK, here we go. Question number 1, which historic event happened the night before the first ever Doctor Who? It was the assassination of JFK. Question number 5, and you can whap an extra point on if you got the year. Which decade was Desert Island Discs first broadcast? It was actually 1942.
Offline,
Come on, son! Uniman!
Right, it's the moment of truth.
Has anybody got above 30?
Yes!
Anybody else got above 30?
Come on!
It's safe to say me and my victorious team of ringers won't be welcomed back in this boozer for a while.
Ladies and gentlemen, another cheer for the 100 Club who beat you all.
Well, they're not going to retire on tonight's winnings, but you can see why this clever lot are considered to be game show connoisseurs. I, on the other hand, could certainly do with a bit more practice, so once again, I'm going to put my knowledge of the game show to the test. Surely I can get 3 out of 3 this time.
Right, come on, Bradley.
Jim Bowen, the legend. How are you?
Listen to this. Complete the rhyme. Keep out of the black and into the red.
There's nothing in this game for 2 in a bed.
That's right, that's super smashing great.
Easy, that one, to be fair.
Hi, Bradley. I have a question for you.
All right, Les, how are you, mate?
I'm going to give you 15 seconds to answer, and the time doesn't begin until I finish asking the question. I was the 3rd host of Family Fortunes. Who were the 2 comedians who went before me?
Bob Monkhouse, Max Bygraves.
Bob Monkhouse and Max Bygraves is the correct answer. Yes, well done.
Here's your starter for 10, Bradley.
Blimey, Bamber Gascoigne. Question, please.
University Challenge was based on an American format which ran for some time on both radio and TV. Can you name the original program?
It's like college.
And Bradley, I'm going to have to hurry you.
I don't know. Ivy League Challenge.
Bradley, no, I'm afraid for once you slipped up. It was College Bowl.
College Bowl, that's it. I said it, college. I said college. I knew it was college.
Right.
Never mind, I've still got one more chance to get them all right. When in the last episode of the series, we'll look at the amazing evolution of the game show.
And the role of women is changing. And I think my little role on Countdown was a little bit of a part of that.
We'll see how game show gadgets and gimmicks have ruled the airwaves.
That's unthinkable. Really, just a few years ago, you couldn't possibly have done all of that.
And look back at the series which took the game show to dizzy new heights.
Annika Rice, can you hear me?
Clear your diary for next weekend. The X Factor is back. Audition starts Sunday and Saturday and continues Sunday at 8 here on ITV. Next, we catch up with London and Whipsnade's animal residents and their keepers. We head for the zoo.